But we're going to start out here on Gibraltar, Cloud9 versus compLexity.
It's a great map pool overall. I mean, no King of the Hill. I like seeing these teams on King of the Hill, but I mean, Hollywood and Kings Row, yeah. Anubis still around here, Numbani, the Lab, and I'm just stoked. We didn't get to see any Gibraltar yesterday. One of my favorite maps. We get to see Harblu on Gibraltar at defense at some point, and he absolutely single-handedly has won this map for this team before. So a lot of really cool stuff coming out here. Could possibly see Divas on the offense. It's a really nice way to get the high ground. We could see nearly anything. Gibraltar's one of those maps that it is payload and teams will over on standard, but there's also kind of room for weird stuff on this map.
Oh, there absolutely is. And one interesting thing, though, coming out from the side of C9, I think they've been running this more often recently, but C9 was once known for always sort of running Winston here on Gibraltar defense, where they were highly aggro with it, but they are also joining the Roadhog Club, perhaps one too many experiences with Harblu on this map. It's going to be Reaver repping the defensive Roadhog, backing him up, Debit on the Reinhardt, Surefour on the defensive Ana, Grego on Lucio, Kai on Zarya, and Adam going to be on the Zenyatta. So realistically, this is the triple support, triple tank comp coming out. NIP would be proud.
Yeah, NIP runs this better than everyone else. The big knock on NIP's triple tank is that it's their best one, right? So a lot of teams will run it just as a mix-up or something else, but the NIP doesn't necessarily run standard as well as other people. So once you stop their triple tank triple support, they get in a little bit of trouble. Offensively, we see Harblu, of course, on Roadhog. JKW will play the Reinhardt. Torque is on Genji. Shake will play Zenyatta. Nicholas for the moment on an offensive Tracer, and Joe Meister rounding it out as always on Lucio.
So this works out here. Nicholas, one thing about Nicholas, he's very feast or famine with his Tracer. A lot of Tracers play a little bit more conservatively. Nicholas will go right to the back line and get in people's faces, but sometimes that ruins pushes from compLexity where he'll just die way too early. We'll see what sort of luck he has here today, but we'll have to watch out for Reaver and those hooks.
Yeah, very passive defense, holding pretty far back. Kind of got a couple people on the high ground. Not any server room action there. They're going to keep eyes on it, but not really doing the hybrid. Just full-on back-style defense here.
And right now, it's really just compLexity moving forward, not doing anything too crazy yet, just jockeying here for position. Take a look at Nicholas. Nicholas is in the server room, ready to move into the back line. And this is going to be compLexity moving in right away, not taking a whole lot of time here. Harblu goes for the hook, does not connect. And C9, they're backing up. Debit, though, almost down. Surefour trying to keep him up here with Ana. Will do just that, and buys enough time for JKW to go down. So 2 quick kills here from C9. Reinhardt will live, but Harblu carrying right forward. Relatively back and forth here on the point, but C9 does seem like they're going to hold.
Yeah, it's really cool what they did there when they got dove on pretty hard by Torque. He went up top to the supports. Adam threw it on the Discord. Ana immediately hit him with the bubble so that he could not get healed. And then the deflect was up. While the deflect was up, they just started shooting everyone else. They ignored him, knowing how precise that cooldown is. Then he had to get out of there. So even though he got in the backlines and disrupted, they ignored him for long enough to get a couple kills. Then it was effectively over by the time he was battle ready again.
All right, well, we will have a whole lot of ults going into this next fight. Transcendence, Dragon Blade on the offense. Going to be Nano Boost and Sound Barrier on the defense. And Sound Barrier pretty good for counter-engaging here. This is going to be a little bit rough for compLexity, but here comes Torque. Moving to the back. Dragon Blade on the way. 1 slice, 2 slices, looking for more. Sound Barrier going to keep Surefour alive here. And the Earth Shatter coming in from Debet late in the fight. Takes out Torque. Sets up for 2 kills. Will he get the 3rd? He's certainly looking for it, and he does.
Debit doing it all by himself there. Of course, the Sound Barrier was great to negate that incoming Dragon Blade. Torque took the exact same approach this time with an ultimate, got completely shut down. Huge Earth Shatter. Debit just sweeps the streets there, cleans everyone up. They got a full reset here, and now they're going to have to be pushing into ultimates as Cloud9 saved a couple.
C9 definitely played that pretty well. Ult economy-wise are in a much better position as well. They will have Graviton into Whole Hog, which actually can be a wipe combo because the downside of Whole Hog is it pushes people away with the tight DPS, but Graviton keeps them right in place. We'll see how Kai handles this. Graviton gonna come out right now. 3 people hooked in, and here comes the Whole Hog, just crushing through the compLexity side, and that's gonna be C9 once more. Very decisive wipe. Torque, though, getting some work done in the backfield before going down.
Yeah, they gave him some help. They sent in Harblu as well on Winston, so he finally was able to get some kills. But those 2 were not able to get the kills quick enough to shut down the supports, as everyone else, the remaining 4 on the low ground, got wiped up immediately. So Torque and Harblu, they made an adjustment to the strategy. They know they have to get to that back line. Harblu's still alive back here. I think they're just kind of leaving him.
And we'll see how that works out. Harblu does go right into the back. Is looking for Surefour here. Surefour, though, turning it back on him. I don't know if Harblu's going to do that. And, oh, man, Winston getting put to sleep. The Tranquilizer Dart setting him up for what could be absolutely terrible things as Debet going to finish him off. Pure cruelty towards Winston there.
I wonder what Chad has to say about that. So that is a really late and staggered death. So if they wanted to try to take down the back lines again, it is going to be just Torque. But his first 2 attempts absolutely failed. Looked a little better when they had a Harblu back there with him. Have to wait for that to happen if he want to go back there. They've been absolutely shut down so far in this offense.
They've had trouble. They are going to have an edge in ults here. It's going to be 4 ults to 2 if they go quickly here. This is basically complexity's window. If they lose this fight, that's probably going to be game. This is a make or break fight here for complexity. They're favored, but they must convert. Nicholas right now over the top. Does have Death Blossom at the ready. Rotating around, and C9, this is really good movement on their part. They're not even holding far back. They're conceding some ground here and still making complexity come to them. Torque, though, already gets one kill on Adam. Here comes Death Blossom by Nicholas. Rolls right in. Gonna be absolute carnage from the TGO brothers as Nicholas completes the quad.
Yeah, that was the plan, the first 3 pushes that didn't work, was get that pick onto Adam early. Adam has always been an extremely difficult support to kill, but that's why Torque was diving him every single time. First 2 absolutely didn't work. Second, the third one with Hard Blue worked a little bit better. That time, Dragon Blade takes down the support. You see what follows.
So offense now getting into the hangar phase. They really don't have that much time, though. It was a really good job by Cloud9 to buy themselves all sorts of time on that pre-hangar defense and really puts complexity in a hole. So for them, they need things to go well pretty much throughout the entire time. Soundbear, though, coming out here from C9. C9 using it to be more aggressive. They lose Reaver early on, though, so Soundbear is used to very little effect as complexity keeping in. Earth Shatter gonna come down, does knock down 1, will be enough to pick up another kill. It will be Kai will fall, and complexity slowly but surely adding on to their total here.
Yeah, Shake takes down his opposing number, and Adam, there's a couple nice kills from Cloud9 to maybe think of bringing this back, but it is way too late. Shake takes down Debit there, too. Shore4 in the hangar, all alone up here. Not sure what his plans are. Try to just get some poke in. He's already got that ultimate, so he's going to stay alive so that if they can get a tank back in here, he can ultimate him, they can save this. Yeah, they're going to be fine.
Yeah, we'll see how it works out here. Torque, though, does have Dragon Blade at the ready. C9 will be able to go for one more big defense. Take a look at Kai. Graviton is up and at the ready. So this is what it comes down to here. Can Nicholas and Torque get to the back line for DPS? Graviton gonna come out here from Kai. Pulls in 3 right away. Roll C9 have the fall through. Debit moving right in. Nano boosted. 4 kills here from C9. And Kai simply set his team up there with the Graviton.
Yeah, Shake late suicides onto the cart. Now, we've always said that one of the better follow-ups to Graviton is actually just a Reinhardt. If he's got enough health, he can swing through there. A nano-boosted Reinhardt is that to the nth degree, so he just able to clean it up. They knocked him down early, but he got a couple nice swings in there. Everyone else cleaned up. A really nice Graviton from Kai, grabbing everyone in there. Follow-up was there, so only 2 minutes left to get through this hangar phase. One of the more difficult phases, so they're down to like maybe 2 pushes. We'll see if Torque's Dragon Blade can find a support in the back line again.
Well, last time they were in this situation, complexity was able to convert. They will have to do so once more. Lucio getting put to sleep to start things out here. So they're going to have to wait a little bit on a grenade coming in right after. Really good on a play coming out here from Shore4 just to disrupt the complexity side of things. But here comes Torque. Speed boost is on the way. He's moving to the back line. Will the Dragon Blade be out? Transcendence comes out a little bit early. It's going to let Torque save his Dragon Blade. We'll see what he does here right now. Is looking to get in on Reaver. Reaver will go down, but not before Genji dies in turn. So it's back and forth, and here comes C9. Late Soundbearer joining the fight. Shore4 does have Nano Boost. Devitt going to the V50 in that, moving in. WMS1 absolutely destroying complexity right now. Gets the triple kill, and that's going to be it.
What is the answer to a nano-boosted Reinhardt? Like, you can sleep dart him if you have your own Ana, you can flash bang him, it's just so difficult. You're not used to that kind of movement speed on him. His radius of swing is surprisingly high. So much health, so much speed, I just don't know what the best response to that even is.
It's pretty rough. I mean, there's plenty of times where if you have a speed boost of your own and the Reinhardt forces that you can get away, but in situations like that late in the fight, it's certainly rough to deal with in Debet. As a result, that does have Earthshatter on the way. Gonna be taking JKW for a ride. Earthshatter ready for any takers here. They won't have a shield tank to actually deal with it. So 65 in favor of C9, and remember, there's only 35 seconds left here. This is the last gasp here for complexity.
Yeah, they've been trying to hunt down Shore4, knowing that he's just doing too much work unmolested in the back lines. They try to boop him out of the shuttle. They do get him on the low ground, so he's going to actually rotate back up top. They're not really going to have eyes on where he is, but this is the last gasp for complexity.
All right, Torque right now is going to go to the back. Dragon Blade is unsheathed, looking for Zenyatta. Takes out Adam immediately, looking for the other supports. Takes down Reaver. 2 kills here from Torque. Make it 3 kills. Torque has threaded the needle and kept complexity alive.
Oh man, this is kind of how it's been the last couple days. It's just when teams really need to play, they need that one fight, they pull it out of nowhere somehow. Everything looks like they're not going to win it, and somehow Torque ends up getting to the backline. Nice Discord combination too on the opposing Zenyatta too, to make his job even that much easier. Even just showing Zenyatta your sword when he's discorded makes him die. So nice push there, and now they're still alive on this map. Only 2 decent pushes left from them, probably with only $1:30 left on the clock, but they're still in it.
They are still in it, but really for compLexity, they are backs against the wall right now. They must win every fight. Debit moving in here. Graviton is going to be setting him up in just a moment. Doesn't use it. Nicholas, in fact, goes to the back line with the Death Blossom, takes out only one. And Kai holds on to the Graviton there. You would have thought he was going to use it with the combination of Nano Boost Reinhardt, but didn't like what he saw, and they just back out. But for now, it's working out for C9.
Yeah, they got a couple tank ults here. They're going to have to dodge both of them if they have any designs on winning this map.
Graviton does come in, pulls in two. Kai going to the backline. Soundbarrier out here for C9. All their cards are on the table, but Nicholas and Harblu fighting right back. And this is actually working out very well for compLexity. It was not the coordination C9 was looking for there. Nicholas in the back, just absolutely destroying here his Tracer. And now compLexity has a real chance of finishing this out.
Yeah, they're coming through here. I swear, D.Va's ultimate is just a hard counter to Zenyatta. It's just so slow, can never get away. Adam died early in the fight to the D.Va ultimate. They're couple Zoom Yatta's facing off here. It's going to be mayhem here as reinforcements come in. JKW, a nice charge to start it off.
Soundbarrier coming in here. The offense is all in to keep them alive. Reinhardt charging into the distances. Tibet. And Nicholas looking for a little bit more here. Pulse Bomb coming out. Fireworks here for compLexity as they finish it out. Not the quickest time in the world. It's like 9:35 or so, but completing this map, given the start that they had, it's pretty gutsy. It was a really good defense by C9 in the beginning, but it was a good comeback by compLexity as well.
Yeah, I mean, you can look at it from both ways. One, they should not have always been getting stopped and needing those last-second fights. Two, I mean, they gutted it out. Every time their backs were against the wall, Torque turned it on, was able to take down the supports in the back line. Every fight that they won really started with taking down Adam. So the coordination and the plan clearly is just let's isolate the Zenyatta first. Not the most novel ideas, but when they were able to do it, they were able to win fights. Like you said, probably one of the slowest times you can even have on Gibraltar at 9:35, but at least they finish it out because every single stage looked like they were in danger of not even completing that stage. So decent enough. Cloud9 just has to pretty much complete the map without getting into overtime.
And we'll see how things go here. And I think the really important thing to note here for compLexity is that compLexity, it felt like they had a few months where, a few months might be overselling it, but at least a month where the Torque and Nicholas were quieter than normal. And as a result, it felt like Harblu was sort of the responsible for most of their big plays. But I feel like, especially in the last week or so, it feels like they've turned things up significantly more. They've been showing up, having bigger plays, bigger 2, 3Ks, etc. Because part of why compLexity was able to stay in that game there is that they did have that combination of Nicholas and Torque getting to the back line. It was why they were able to even get into the hangar to begin with. And if compLexity can keep that up, they do have a shot of making the series close. I think Cloud9 still has a huge edge, certainly on this map, with the time to beat, but we'll just have to see where things go.
Yeah, totally agree with you. That's what we mentioned on the way in here is that when TJOs are in the kill feed, everything's looking good for compLexity. It's just they have high highs and low lows. Like when they're on, they're great. When they're off, they're out of the game. It's like a disappearing act. So they're going to put Torque on the McCree on the defense at least. Everything else looks a little standard. Let's watch Harblu maybe hit some just godlike hooks.
Alrighty, so we are getting right into it. C9 offense is on the way. Harblu, though, certainly the one to watch here. Harblu has literally won Gibraltar games almost single-handedly as Roadhog, and I don't say that lightly, but that has certainly been a thing. So, see what Harblu has in his reserve right now.
If I'm mistaken, it was against Cloud9 too, where he single-handedly like, shut them down from getting first point. Yeah.
C9 is very intimately acquainted with Harblu here in this map. You got to think that they are game planning around it. They don't want to give Harblu another personal highlight reel once more, and they're definitely respecting Roadhog with how they're positioning right now. But on the payload altogether, not getting too crazy on the flank.
Torque very far back on his Genji, just looking for that poke. They want to rotate into the server room, keep everyone safe. We'll see if they go full rotation and go up through the top, which is where compLexity had a little bit of success. But it looks like they're happy to just poke through there. JKW going to take a look and back out too, so a bit of a stalemate for the moment.
They're staying together, they're staying far back, and they're definitely having a high focus on Harblu. And that's just a lot of respect that they're showing him right now. He's going to get focused out here with the Discord Orb, and for right now, I mean, the one thing good for compLexity is that C9 isn't able to rush in, but they do rush in right now, going in on Harblu, Reaver with the counter hook, but while they're doing that, Torque is able to get work done in the backline, has one kill, Deadeye on the way, takes out Kai, and that's the problem when you over-focus on Harblu to try and stop him from doing Harblu things. It opens up Torque to really come up the rear.
That was a hard focus, too. He got everyone's attention and then got hooked in, was able to stay alive even after that hook, picked up a kill. He did end up popping his whole hog, though, which he might want back, but died immediately after it. So, yeah, he was going to pop it because he knows he's going to get hard focus if he's on Roadhog, switches up to Reaper instead.
All right, so good first events here from the side compLexity. We'll see if C9 has a little bit more on their next attack. They will have to deal with a ult advantage here from the defense, so Transcendence is up, Sound Barrier about to be up. Let's take a look at this. There's a speed boost up here from compLexity. They're going around on a flank.
Yeah, full rotation through the top. Really no one there to oppose them. Offense and defense switch spots for now. Big brawl gonna happen.
Both teams fighting out here. They effectively have traded out offense and defensive spots. Harbor, though, able to take out Reaver immediately to start this out. Here comes the Sound Bear from C9. C9 is all in. Kai came out there with the Graviton. We'll see if it's enough. Here comes Surefour. Dragon Blade on the way. A triple kill from Surefour was set up. Knocks it right down. And that is going to be C9 opening up the hangar phase in what was, for a time, a very even fight. Good movement from both teams.
I'm going to call that just kill stealing right there. They didn't even need Surefour to come in because they had Graviton and then they had Earth Shatter. They got one giant swipe from the hammer. That was like 95% of the damage done by both tanks. Surefour comes in, takes all the glory in the kill feed. But regardless, they wanted to use everything to win that fight. They've been charging ults pretty quickly. Kai has always been exceptional at charging his Zarya ult. He hits long-range bombs better than most, so they're not really worried about their ult economy here, especially knowing how long they have to push this map.
Yeah, and ult economy-wise, things are relatively even right now between both teams. C9 trying to make the most of the momentum, but Torque getting that first pick should be able to keep compLexity in it, at least for now. C9 might be advised to back up here, as right now you look at Torque, he's just able to land shot after shot. Nothing can really dislodge him from this. Well, it doesn't get come in towards the end, but I don't know if that's the right move, as Debit just is immediately punished for that.
Yeah, Debit kind of knew he was on a bit of a one-way ticket mission there, as he had to jump straight up. He was going to get focused by everyone. He did dislodge them. You know, now they're fighting back and forth. The trades are now going in favor of compLexity, but looked even early on. It is just Kai and Grego on the cart. No longer. Grego remains alive. Might be better suited to die earlier, but he's going to try to get out. He's skating his heart out. There he goes.
He was going for it. He just needed a little bit more, but that was a little bit rough. No one was really on Torque the entire time, and we do see it, 4 teams where if they don't focus out the McCree can get just way too much value. But here comes Surefour moving in, Dragon Blade on the way, moving directly into the compLexity backline, takes out Torque before dying. A pretty worthy trade given how much Torque did in the last fight. We'll see if C9 can do a little bit more. Alaw's gonna be on Reaver here. Diva Bomb coming in, and Reaver going to get blown up by Arblue, was not able to escape. 2 main DPS down for C9, and they're going to be in some rough shape here, but they pop Sound Bear coming out here from the side compLexity, and they're just looking to clean it up fully.
Yeah, they were able to isolate Adam there again back in the corner, take him out as the push continued. So now it's complete cleanup, a full reset, and the ult advantage is firmly in favor of compLexity. There's going to be a couple tank ults up, though, for Cloud9. Of note is that Graviton Reaver's also got his Deadeye, so they're going to have a lot to work with themselves. It's just really, what is the answer to dislodge this shuttle position? You send Debit up there, give him a bubble, but now they're just going to rotate through the bridge.
C9 all going to the room, but Torque gonna drop down. Looking for Adam, wasn't able to get the pick off there. He was very slightly short of a full skull. That might come back to haunt them in here, as Reaver was able to get one pick off. It's now 65. We'll see if this works out here. Graviton, though, coming out here from Kai, pulls in 3 of the defense, but he's gonna get charged right back.
Very little follow-up there. They only had Kai and Reaver in the back lines, and the Tesla Cannon's nice because it cleaves, but it just was not doing enough damage. All their DPS was so far away. No follow-up on that Graviton.
This fight is super chaotic. Positioning has absolutely collapsed right now. Surefour just trying to get anything done in the back line. Will take out Shake. Moving into the back, has more, has built another Dragon Blade. Looking to take out Hardblue, takes out Hardblue and Torque. And now Surefour is rolling a triple kill for him. And C9 very likely now to get through this hangar phase.
Well, Gibraltar has been the land of the Genjis so far, as every fight has really started with a 3K from the Cyber Ninja in the kill feed. They've got plenty of time to finish this out, about 4 minutes on my clock here, so they've got 5 pushes here. JKW is going to suicide there to reset as he found himself in an awkward position. They could initiate with Sound Barrier. They're going to have Deadeye. This is a great map for Deadeye if you can get up on the ledge and then cause some chaos in the back and just get those giant sight lines. Most teams are going to try to play around that. Kai switches off momentarily on a Tracer, but now he's right back on Zarya. Interesting.
This is a really big advantage here from C9. All they have to do is really win one major fight, and they're going to win this map. They have about 3.5 minutes to do that. Sound Barrier coming out, Grego leading the way. Surefour getting right into the back line. C9, though, still has yet to pick up a kill from the Sound Barrier, and their window might be closing. Surefour really having some trouble dealing with Reaper here in the back lines. JKW able to move in, takes out Debet, and the compLexity doing a decent job of holding us back, but let's take a look at Surefour once more. He's about to have Dragon Blade up, and as the fight degenerates, it's even more effective. Dragon Blade on the way from Surefour into the backline, slicing, takes out Shake, looking for more, has McCree in the sights. McCree trying to dodge, will not happen. A double kill here from Surefour, opening the way for C9.
Yeah, another couple kills from Genji, as I was saying. JKW's going to come back late, gets the Earth Shatter down, only takes down Grego, but follows it through, takes down Adam next there without supports as Cloud9.
Look at W just swing the hammer. Graviton surges out here from Kai trying to put this away from C9. Transcendence though going to stymie that at least a little bit. Kai is built up, but his team is not entirely with him here. As Nicholas now is getting to the back, is getting 2 kills that he needs. Reaver was on the offensive Widow, but dying immediately, and compLexity not out of this yet.
No, that defense looked really good. Now they've swung the momentum in their favor, especially ultimate-wise. Reaver thinks better of it, takes it on to the McCree again. I think dreaming of times of old when Widow was more viable, but didn't get anything done there. Didn't even notice he was on Widow till he died. So now they're just going to push in past this bridge. High Noon comes from the bridge.
Well, they're breaking it down, and here comes Torque. Deadeye takes out Reaver immediately, so 65 here for compLexity. Diva Bomb coming out to his kill, I think. Surefour looking for the Dragon Blade in the back is going to be challenging Torque directly, and is going to slice him down. Once more, Surefour able to go in with the double, make it a triple, looking for the quad, and he is going to convert.
Yeah, Hardblue is going to be on the cart as desuited Diva, never the best look. Joe Meister comes out. This is really hard when you're facing a Zenyatta, which everyone is nowadays, because you're going to trickle out and just get discorded and melted. That is going to be Cloud9 taking Gibraltar. First map in this best of 5.
That was brutal. That was in all ways the Surefour show at the very end. Just textbook Genji cleanup. Nothing but beauty there, and it puts compLexity away. However, compLexity did have some good showings there. They did keep it relatively close for a while, and being within 2 minutes of C9, never a bad thing. But compLexity certainly going to have to find another gear as the series moves along.
Yep, so we'll just see what map they want to take us to next. We've got some interesting ones in the pool. As I mentioned, Anubis is in here. Of course, Hollywood and Kings Row hanging around as well. And then there's always Numbani to go for. So pretty close, I mean, relatively. It took them a long time. They had some decent defenses from compLexity. I think maybe some people who thought compLexity was completely on the backslide was going to show up a lot worse. But still looks kind of close between these teams. One fight here or there could have gone a different way, and we could have had a different result.
Yeah, and it's sort of interesting looking at compLexity right now. I feel like the compLexity we're seeing now, even though they just lost to C9, definitely feels like they're much stronger than the compLexity we saw in the Overwatch Open just a few short days ago. So I feel like if you're a compLexity fan, it is a little bit disheartening watching them here, where they are putting up a really good fight, and then they weren't able to bring it on one of the days that mattered most. Because for those who don't know, of course, we do have 16 teams qualified for the Overwatch Open, which will be taking place later on in September, but compLexity is not one of those teams, so for them, I feel like there's even more at stake here. Cloud9, of course, coming in. Worst case scenario, even if they don't win, they still know that they have a really big tournament to play before. But for compLexity, I feel like the monthly melee means a little bit more to them here.
Yeah, they definitely have questions to answer here. So it was their map choice. We're going to head over to Temple of Anubis. Cloud9 choosing to defend first. Cloud9 is ready. We're waiting on the word go. So Anubis is right back in the pool. It used to be the most hated map of all maps, except maybe Volskaya, as our analyst mentioned, not the best for Volskaya. So yeah, Anubis could see some maze, could see anything here. I don't know did we get a ready from compLexity?
Did we get ready for compLexity indeed? I'm not sure.
I'll just make sure.
Yeah, we're making sure so we don't start. It's like, wait, guys, we weren't ready.
Yeah, we got the ready from Kai. All right, here we go.
All right, so they're ready. We're getting map number 2, Temple of Anubis. And yeah, sort of going on to your point, there was a point where Temple of Anubis was hardly the most popular of maps. It was the demon in the scene, basically. And people hate on Volskaya nowadays, but there was a point where if people did play an assault map, it was Volskaya. Volskaya was by far the most popular assault map for a time. And I guess things have changed as we've been seeing all sorts of Temple Anubis as of late.
I think the time bank system helped open up people to just even the possibility of playing these assault maps more often, because I mean it was kind of a snap judgment from the community, right? Like, we don't like them, we don't like playing pubs on these, and then before the competitive scene even launched, people had already hated these maps. So now that the time bank has come in, we played them a little more. Some tournaments have just put them in the pool and said you're not gonna have a choice, you're gonna play them, and so teams have warmed up to them. I mean, Rogue kind of won their way through tournaments just by winning the assault maps. So definitely a map that is not as surprising to see in these anymore. It would be just a monumental occasion if this were 2 months ago, like, oh my god, we're on Anubis, but now it's just kind of standard play.
Yep, it's not quite as scary, and you think about it, a lot of the maps that used to be, wait, are we really doing this map, have sort of gone out of that sense. There was a point where Ilios was practically a dirty word, and we still see Ilios from time to time, and not just in pro player sprays. But either way, take a look here at the defense coming out here from C9. It's going to be Adam on the Zenyatta, Surefour on Genji, Debet on the Reinhardt, Kai going to be in Winston, Reaver on Reaper, and Grego, the final piece, on Lucio.
Yeah, we'll see what they want to do offensively. It looks like they're going to run these two tanks. No standard Reinhardt here, so a little bit more of a dive composition as JKW and Harblu come up as Winston and Diva respectively. Shake and Joe Meister will be playing the supports, and Zenyatta and Lucio, Torque and Nicholas, the TJO brothers, Genji and Tracer.
All right, so first attack here, very, very important for teams on Temple of Anubis. If you lose the first attack, the defense very likely to win attacks 2 and 3 just off ult alone. So this is a big break point when it comes to staying a good time here on this map. And we'll see if compLexity can convert. A lot of times the offense does have a slight edge moving in to start with. And Torque right now just taking his time laying in the poke.
Yeah, this is kind of an interesting spot because they're going to have to come through this very small, narrow choke and everyone's waiting for him.
Well, they do take this time to move in. Winston-Genji combination on the way, diving right on the Adam. Adam is dispatched immediately, but Surefour in the backline on his own is taking out JKW. Gonna get the double on the Torque. There is no answer for Surefour right now. Full HP, and he's gonna mop up.
So one of the issues with running 2 dive tanks in this kind of composition, too, JKW and Harblu both came in immediately. That just left the remaining 4 completely unprotected. So the next to die was Shake on his exposed Zenyatta. If you don't bring people with you when you're diving in or push them out of the way, make them focus you, then you're leaving the rest of your 4 pretty exposed. That's what happened there.
It can be rough, and you take a look here at what's going to happen in the next fight. Surefour does have Dragon Blade up and at the ready, Torque nowhere close, and the real thing they have to watch out for here is Surefour can just dive to the back, use Dragon Blade, and just get entirely too much value, and he's waiting for that opportunity right now.
Yeah, Surefour's trying to get poke over the top, but now the Dragon Blade comes out.
Dragon Blade comes out, Surefour moving to the back line, has 1, has 2, will we have 3? He gets 3, looking for 4, Reaver having the Wraith from away, but all his friends are dead, and Surefour converting here to start this out, and take a look at the next fight, it's gonna get worse. Reaver about to have Death Blossom up.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to try that same approach there. Teams have had some success by going down center and then last second juking to the right and going up the stairs, gets that immediate high ground right over the points, but so far this left giant pack room has not worked out for them. They're going to take a different angle here.
Alright, Soundbearer coming out here to start this out. C9 on the defense, looking to hold once more. Reaver off the flank, waiting for his opportunity to do Death Blossom, and Death Blossom comes out late in the fight. Doesn't get much done, just gets taken out by Shake instead. compLexity still with a real shot here as they trade out kills, JKW and the Grego, and in fact, compLexity going to take this. I don't think that Death Blossom was quite what they were looking for.
It was on the periphery of a Transcendence. I think he thought the Transcendence was going to come down a little later, or it was going to actually fade a little quicker, and just not able to pick up the people who were still just kind of on the edges there. Some nice movement from Shake kept his teammates alive, and he got taken out kind of mid-Death Blossom. Not the most value out of that. So yeah, they are going to take that 6:20 left in their time bank to push this last point. Some switches though as Reaver comes off of that Reaper and onto a Roadhog instead.
So Roadhog, not too bad here on the last point of Anubis. Can definitely be useful for getting early picks before a team dives right in. But here's the problem here for compLexity as they do look to go in. Surefour once more is Dragon Blade, and we saw it earlier in the game just how effective he can be when he has that ultimate up, and there's no defensive support ultimate to actually deal with them. They're not going to have Transcendence, they're not going to have Sound Barrier, so this is a real window of opportunity for Surefour once more. And here he goes, Dragon Blade is out, he's going to the backline, already dispatches Shake, gets the double kill, and he's going to be chasing down Harblu. Harblu will not survive, a triple here from Surefour. And I'm getting profound senses of deja vu every time Surefour pulls out the Dragon Blade this match.
They haven't had an answer for it. One of the kind of biggest buffs to Zenyatta, and everyone's talking about like his Discord, that the movement speed on his Transcendence allows him to completely support a Dragon Blade in those very mobile DPS heroes. It was just, he's not going to get the credit in the kill feed, but Adam was there every step of the way with Surefour, keeping him alive, keeping that Dragon Blade dangerous, and the support ultimate with that as an engagement is a really nice tool, especially if you have a Genji that's going to mop up like that. Another 3 kills from Surefour.
Well, this is going to be the time for the TJO brothers to shine. Both have ultimates at the ready. Death Blossom and Dragon Blade are set. Debet, 4C9, has Earthshatter. And if he Earthshatters at the right time, he can stop Torque in his tracks and even stop Nicholas. So we'll see how this works out. Here comes the offense. Soundbearer on the way. Here comes Dragon Blade. Debet in the air, drops the hammer, does not get what he's looking for. And now Torque, will he be unleashed? Slicing and dicing, has 1, looking for more. McCree in his sights. compLexity with 3 kills to none right here. Make it 4. And next, things are looking good for them.
Yeah, it's kind of the hidden downside of the initiation that they pulled off last time. It looked really good with Adam and Surefour, as we mentioned, taking the initiative, using those 2 ults to clean up. But the nice thing from compLexity rather, is that they didn't burn any ults in response to that. They had 5 loaded when they came in there, and then their ultimates did not have a Transcendence to answer them. They were unafraid of the So they just were able to keep those ultimates in their pocket, use them for their last push, and set a pretty, respectable time here on their first attack on Anubis.
So it's not the worst here for compLexity. I feel like they could go a little bit quicker in going on here, and C9 might set a faster time, but either way, no matter what happens on this defense here for compLexity, this is something they can work with in turning this map back around. It's not entirely free for C9. They didn't defend for quite that long, but I'd say if you were to say who has an edge here, it's probably like 60-40 in favor of C9 based off of how the first round went. But now it's up to C9 to see if they can convert.
I mean, they took last on their second push, which is pretty impressive, because last is harder to take, especially if you don't get it on that first push in the transitional phase. So just kind of banking up those ultimates after getting wiped up by, like we mentioned, that nice Dragon Blade from Short4, but that was an ultimate they didn't have defensively. First push took them 3 times, and they need a little bit of luck and some mismanagement of Qs there from Cloud9. So yeah, I would agree with you that it's still looking good for Cloud9. We'll have to see what they want to bust out here on attack, but it's also a map that it's really variable. Some teams can hold on first point defense, some teams just lock them out on last point defense. It's still one of the maps that's new enough that it gets pretty difficult to predict.
We'll just have to see how it goes. Certainly, I would say if anything is on compLexity's short list, it has to be shutting down Short4 as he rolls in. They do have Harbler in the Winston. I imagine he's going to be going for him because really, you look at most of the big fights that C9 won, they won a large percentage of their fights just off Dragon Blades in the backline when no support ultimates were ready to answer it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely on the top of their wish list based on Gibraltar is taking down Adam first. Now, Adam has always been great at positioning. If he makes himself unavailable, I think Short4 is probably next on the list. They've been getting cleaned up by tanks, but that's largely because they're not focusing on them. They don't even have a Reaper in this composition, so they're not super worried about the tank play of Devitt and Kai, which could be a problem.
Well, C9 right now not wasting any time. Everyone going up the right flank, securing the high ground, and they're going to be dropping right down. They have decent positioning right now against compLexity. compLexity did not really poke them down a whole lot as they went for that. And Short4 has the support into sights. Lucio, will he be the first victim? He's moving in, landing fan after fan. Joe Meister is dead. A quick first kill coming out here from Short4. And C9 now in a 65 advantage where there will be no Lucio to support compLexity anymore.
Yeah, Short4 jumped in on first. They cleaned it up with a nice support from Devitt over the top. Short4 and Shake battling back and forth now on the point. It's turning chaotic, but it is turning red in the kill feed.
compLexity doing a decent job of holding this back despite the early picks. The rest of C9 was not able to convert, and this might actually be a chance for compLexity to regroup. Usually if you trade out kills here, it's very hard to get back in, but compLexity was able to stagger that enough that I think they have a shot of reestablishing, as Torque now will have Dragon Blade for the next fight.
Yeah, they didn't panic after that first pick. Torque got himself in a position where I thought it would be one of the times where he goes in too deep and gives up too much. He was facing down both supports, not the most threatening thing, but he got out safely, and then he needed to be alive for the remainder of that fight.
All right, Dragon Blade coming out here from Torque. Dragon Blade should be coming out from Short4 soon. Defensive Transcendence is out. It's 5v5 right now. Torque not really getting a whole lot towards the end. Nicholas, though, in the backline, picking up some of the slack. And Short4 yet to come out the blade. I think he's just got to wait for C9 to get back into this.
Yeah, they chase him out. Shake takes on Reaver again, so there's going to be some pressure in the front lines as Harbler's just happy to hit his Primal Rage, knock him back, buy some more time, and time is a ticking here, down to 2 minutes for this first push at least.
All right, Kai does have Graviton here at the ready. This could be a big moment. Kai, of course, known for getting things going for C9. Drops the Graviton, pulls in 2. Zarya and Lucio, respectively. Short4 immediately there with the cleanup. Dragon Blade sharp and ready to go. Looking for a little bit more. It's still 64 here for C9. And they are in a great position here. We'll see if they can clean it up.
Yeah, Shake adds in a kill there too, but those first couple kills are pretty brutal. Losing your Zarya and your Lucio, that is so much utility, so much support on your team down right away. And yeah, it's a rough way to fight a 4v6, and that's why they're not coming out on top here. They will cap it with about 1:30 left, put 6:30 into their time bank, but it is enough time for compLexity to reset up on defense. They're not going to be cheesed out transition-wise or anything. They're in good positions here.
Pretty good positioning, and now JKW can sort of return the favor here to C9. Look at what Kai did in the last fight, drop a good Graviton of his own. He's going to be looking for it. Graviton is down, pulls in 4. Soundbear out here from the defense as Nicholas, the pulse bomb destroys 4. Wombo combo in the house.
Yeah, now Adam just tried to stay alive as long as he could, but he's got no way to do that as a lone Zenyatta.
That was a great setup coming out there from JKW. Nicholas is right there at the fall through, and that was that. The death of C9's push, but at least for C9, they didn't burn too much in the way of ult on that. And we'll see what they can do here in the next fight as Reaver is still holding on to that Death Blossom.
Yeah, and Reaver needs to put his name in the kill feed here. It's always been a question. It's been a question from on everyone's mind the last couple months. What is Reaver just having a bad week, a bad day? But he's not been the Reaver of old.
Well, Reaver right now is going to be speed boosting in here in a moment. Death Blossom at the right. He's going to be going right to the back. Transcendence, though, could really ruin his day. We'll see if he can get in before that is popped. Meanwhile, though, here comes Harblue in the back line. Winston at the ready, knocking around. Torque diving in as well. This is a full dive here on C9. They get the first kill on the Grego. Torque slicing down at him. Both C9 supports are dead. And that's going to be Torque cleaning up a beautiful triple.
Reaver hit his Death Blossom after 3 of his teammates died, and he got nothing out of it. Got cleaned up at the end there again. So maybe just not the timing that they wanted there. Maybe a retreat would have been in more order once the dive came in. I thought the dive actually was not going to go all that great as Shake got segmented off of Torque, but Torque just went full bore himself. Didn't need the Transcendence healing, and yeah, yet another not grand Death Blossom from Reaver. He's going to switch heroes. He's going to come up on Tracer instead.
All right, Sunbear out here from C9. They're trying to make this opportunity. Shake goes down immediately to Reaver, so pretty good first pick coming out. Debet, though, in the back, 25 HP. Will he get the chance to drop the Death Blossom? He's waiting for the opportunity. Gonna get knocked down instead. JKW with an Earth Shatter of his own, but his team still dying all around him. Debet's WMS went a little bit stronger, and he still has an Earth Shatter when reinforcements come in, so this might be C9's cap.
Yeah, they're just going to try to stall it out here. Joe Meister was skating to the roof of Anubis here. Harblue's going to stall it out as much as he can with the May. It's not going to be very long, but there's still yet to get a tick.
Blade coming out from Surefour just for the cleanup here, and this is where the defense is still stringing in. Torque trying to make things happen as Kai explodes with the triple kill, denies the Dragon Blade in turn, and is just going to melt down D.Va, not caring at all about that defensive matrix.
Every second's valuable. Look at Nicholas. He was just waiting in the back there. He knows he's not going to get on there and get kills. He just wants seconds. They're just buying seconds.
They're buying valuable time here, even as they're streaming in, even as they're getting cleaned up and C9 dominates the kill feed. You look at the time bank that's being drained. This is still very, very good for compLexity, even though it probably doesn't feel like it for them as everyone is dying.
Oh, the charge is going to end. It's a blind charge, catches someone over there. Harblu unable to get on the point to stop that, but pretty even between these two teams, and what's that? That's compLexity taking the lead.
Yeah, compLexity, they had a better first attack than C9 did. It really took C9 quite a while there, and despite all the heroics from Surefour on round number 1, wasn't quite able to do as much as often when on the attacking side. And I definitely think that compLexity made some adjustments in dealing with him there. Just focus. If you looked at when Surefour went in, there's definitely more of a focus on getting on him immediately and not really giving him as much room to work with.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of go back to that first Cloud9 defense where the moment they popped it, it looked good. The Transcendence into Dragon Blade, but they didn't force any ultimates out of compLexity's side. So they just kind of used a couple, and the kills are nice, but they just kind of handed the ult advantage back to compLexity when they didn't necessarily have to. They popped them first. They aggressed onto it. It's not like they were responsive ultimate, which is essentially what you would like to do, what you'd like to use your Transcendence for is a responsive ultimate. So that goes back the next push. They were able to come in and use all their ults. So maybe a little bit of mismanagement there, not much, but I don't know. I want to ask our analysts about that. We'll see if anything changes on this one. It looks like everyone's running similar compositions to what they ran before. And yeah, that's about it. Reaver rather comes back on the Reaper.
Interesting stuff. Reaver probably has a love-hate relationship with Reaper. It seems like there's games where he has really good games, but there's also games where he goes invisible. Certainly the last attack was part of that, but here we go. compLexity moving him right away. Debet, though, immediately getting quick charge on JKW, 65, and C9 could just rush us down. They have to be careful not to overextend their mandate here, but they pick up 2 kills, and now compLexity might be on borrowed time as C9 moving right in. They are going to evict them from their Temple of Anubis property.
Yeah, that is 5 deaths, 6 deaths. That is 6-0 in that first fight on Anubis there. The team kill horn would be going off if they weren't so staggered, which is actually better for Cloud9, so not the greatest aggression there. I think they just really don't want to have to try to push pack room again, as it did not work out for them, and I think Cloud9 might know this. That's why they're kind of gravitating more towards the center archway, more towards the right side. They want to deny that entrance, force them to go through pack room, which they've had success defending.
Well, the big thing here is that Dragon Blade's out. Surefour not wasting any time. Immediately dispatches Joe Meister. Gets that backline. Has the double. Looking for more. And that is where Surefour is so deadly. Building up Dragon Blade off of the first fight. Winning the second fight pretty much outright with it. Shutting down compLexity's rush in a very quick fashion.
Well, it's been all Cloud9. It is 12-1 kills-wise right now. The only one going down somewhere in there. I think Adam may have died, or one of the, yeah, I think Adam died somewhere in there. But, you know, that's good because then Yada's not be able to get back in time. They're going to try to take advantage of this very small window here as they rush in.
Debit right now, holding on to Shadow, gonna drop it, knocks out at least 2, looking for more. Charges right in, gonna charge Zen out of the fight. That means his team is not getting healed anymore, but here comes Torque, Dragon Blade on the way, has 1. Reaver gonna be the first to fall, looking for a little bit more. The Sport Ults are down. Here comes compLexity on the sound barrier, and Hex, they should be able to clean this up.
Torque and Nicholas combined for 4 early on. Nicholas adds in a 5th. JKW cleans up 1 as well, so that is a full team wipe. That is compLexity taking this first point, you know, in pretty decent fashion. Their first couple pushes stalled out very much like their first round on Anubis.
I am on fire. I will lead us to
It's not bad at all here for compLexity. It definitely gives them more breathing room for their own defense, where now, even if they lose this point on their defense, if they can stall out on last, they would be able to force at least a tiebreaker going forward. So that's a really big thing for them to get. And now they have a decent ult set up here. They can Graviton and Death Blossom. They do have to worry about Surefour and Dragon Blade, of course, but this is winnable as Reaver right now. You take a look at him. He's standing here on the top, waiting for his opportunity to drop down. Reaver's had somewhat of a low game here to start things out, but here comes Graviton, already out. And Reaver right now just waiting to go in, but his team is hung around. 3 people dying. Reaver not able to get anything done. The combo from compLexity connects, and Hex, they're in a great position now to cap this.
Yeah, I don't even know if they're going to be able to get stalls out. I do not see anyone from the team near the point. That is it. A really nice last take there from compLexity, and they're definitely in control of this map.
I was expecting a big Death Blossom there from Reaper. It seemed like a good positioning, but he waited a little bit too long to go into the fight. And unfortunately, due to that delay, so many members of C9 were dead by the time he got there that it was really easy for him to get focused down. So, bit of a misplay coming out there from C9 and coordinating that defense, and compLexity could be on the verge of taking Temple right away from them.
It might be hyperbole. In fact, it is hyperbole, but that's kind of one of my jobs as a caster. Reaver hasn't looked comfortable since they nerfed Widow, and they've tried him on numerous different heroes, and he's had good games here and there. He's spattered in a couple decent McCree games. I think his Tracer's pretty good, but it's just not the same comfort level that you were getting out of him from Widow. And you know, honestly, going way far back, he wasn't the most comfortable on heroes before Widow was really into the meta too. Like, it was his best hero. They were best when he was on it. Since then, yes, he's been up and down, but I think more down. Again, my biggest question on this Cloud9 team is, when's Reaver going to find the old Reaver that we used to have?
I don't know. I mean, it's been a very weird few months for him. It's been up and down, to be sure. There was a point where Surefour and Reaver were the true Bash brothers. C9 was on top. They were effectively equal, both huge parts of C9, but it does feel like Surefour has had to carry a little bit more weight here as of late. But either way, we're going to see how things work out here. C9 on the attack once more. Surefour going to be looking to do Genji shenanigans in the back, and we'll see if it works out.
Alright, well, the Mei is on the field and it's not last. Hardblue is hiding in this corner. He's going to try to cut him off. He's get the wall up. He gets the wall up. Only the tank's in.
Right now, both teams trading off to start things out. Joe Meister with the first kill on the Kai. Kai first to fall. Surefour, though, still alive. Good HP. He cannot leave Surefour alive for long, but Nicholas able to get on Adam. Supports for C9. Absolutely getting mauled here to start things out. compLexity should be able to do this. As Hardblue getting surprising amounts of value right now on the Mei. That is an icy triple kill coming out.
They just didn't expect it. He was on these barrels right through Main Street. The 2 tanks came in, and then he cut the supports off from helping them out. They were able to clean up Kai immediately on that Zarya. Then he soloed the Lucio with just Mei M1ing, and then able to add in some damage and slow on everyone else. A nice niche pick caught them off guard. Now they know that the Mei is in there. We'll see how they deal with it.
Well, we do see C9 all coming in from their right side, going for the high ground once more. They've taken this approach multiple times here. Hardblue will be ice walling here. I'm not sure how much it's really going to split things off, just making the poke from C9 a little bit less great. But they're going to be dropping down here in a moment. But compLexity, they're giving them plenty of room. They're actually pretty okay with this. They're still pretty good HP-wise. And now they're going to challenge a point. Hardblue going right in. Might be freezing Kai in her mode. Kai going to go down, in no small part to that Mei. And now Nicholas, really a lot of room to move and be unleashed. But here comes Surefour. Dragon Blade at the ready. Will he be the hero once more? Takes down Hardblue. Does a lot of damage to the backline. Still in there, getting healed up. Effectively gets 2. And Surefour once more, breaking this wide open.
Yeah, getting an insane amount of damage even through that sound barrier too. It wasn't like he was patient. He just started chunking it away with that sword. Got a kill early on while the sound barrier was still active. The cleanup is there. Some nice pressure from Debit, just completely focusing Torque, knowing that if they were going to lose that map, it was going to be because Torque went ham. So he just kept his Tesla on him the entire time, forced him into an awkward position, not even able to get any shurikens off, or he's just trying to dodge. So a nice take from Cloud9. They've got 90 seconds to take this last point, but they're going to be pushing into a whole boatload of ults.
I think for them, their best chance here is to do a junk rush. They need to save the sound barrier here, but they're going to use it. I don't think they realize what they're running into. They're running into Blizzard, into Dragon Blade. The Blizzard is out. Torque is going to look to go to the back line here. Support ults are out, and this might be bad for C9. First kill is on Grego. Torque doing all sorts of damage to Winston here. Still 65. C9 still has a chance. Reaver into the back line gets one pick, looking for a little bit more. But I'm not sure about this. C9 came in with a very low amount of ultimates, and Reaver right now trying to be the hero. Has 2 kills, has 3. Reaver on the redemption tour at the moment, but gonna fall to Torque at the very end.
Well, here's the good thing that happened, though, for Cloud9, though. As you mentioned, they should have come in and not used any of their ultimates, and it could have been a pretty bad plan, but they did force a ton of ults out of compLexity. So now compLexity is going to have the ults that they didn't have in the last fight, though, as Sound Barrier and Graviton come up. But, you know, all things considered, it could have gone much worse.
So, you look at the defense, so they're building up ults. JKW is going to have a Graviton here. Should really set things up. Now, there's always a chance of a Miracle Deflect. They'll bring it right back. But he's waiting for it. Graviton is in, pulls in 2 members of C9. But Surefour and Reaver on the back. The flank is real. Sets up C9 real well. The Sound Barrier comes out here for the defense, but it's late. And Surefour right now, nothing stopping him. Effectively picking up the triple, and C9 at the last moment. Well positioned here to even up the score.
Yeah, and I'm so happy that Reaver is looking really good on this Tracer. I think actually it might be one of his better heroes when they play King Hill especially. But this is
really important. They need to delay for 2 more seconds so they don't get the extra time. And that is it. compLexity has done the appropriate amount of delay. If that finished with 1 second left, C9 would have gotten a full 2 minutes left for their final attack. The fact that compLexity stalled out just that little bit extra is huge, because now, if they kept point A Hex, they're going to run away with Temple of Anubis, and we're going to have ourselves a 1-to-1 series.
Yeah, I mean, as I was mentioning, I didn't expect the delay to come out. Good catch there, but I think that Reaver is probably best on his Tracer right now. Even when they switched it really quickly towards the end on their last push on before the stage previous, that he got a couple kills in the backline. He's really good at picking off Zenyatta's. His tracking is good enough that he can empty a clip and just kind of delete them from the map. I think he's good at it on King of the Hill, so I'd like to see him run a little more Tracer. He just, to me, does not look comfortable playing the Reaper. It's a completely different style than a Tracer, and he just seems to excel at one and not the other. We'll see if they keep him on, or for now, he's going to play that Tracer on defense. Tracer's firmly in the meta. She's fine to run on nearly every composition, so I don't know why he's not running it more consistently. I think he's just going to stay where he's comfortable now and play this defensive Tracer.
I do like the defensive Tracer coming out here more so than defensive Reaper. I don't think Reaper has been to Reaver style at all, despite the fact that his name is incredibly similar. As you mentioned, the Tracer definitely much better, had way better moments there on the attack. We'll see how things go, though. As compLexity sets up their offense, C9 backs against the wall. If they give up point A, they lose the map. But if they're able to defend, we will be going to a tiebreaker, so be interested to see how this works out.
Well, in only 2 minutes, too, so it's essentially the old school overtime. They've only got, like, two pushes, maybe 3, so not a wasted motion for compLexity here. They have to get this first point.
All right, so Torque right now moving into the backline. Nothing really on him thus far. Is fighting Kai. Devitt, though, he'll get first kill on the Shake, but Torque, turning around, takes out Kai. So remember, for an offense, trading out kills is not too bad here, but unfortunately, they don't trade out well enough. They only lose Kai in this fight. Reaver gonna get the final cleanup, and that's gonna be good defense from C9. But if compLexity had gotten maybe 2 extra kills there, they would be able to regroup and get back on the point much quicker, but C9 doing a good job to avoid that from happening. And ult-wise, it's actually pretty even, despite C9 winning that fight.
Yeah, a couple more kills would have been phenomenal for them. They got the 1, so it's kind of just a reset, kind of negligible gains there.
All right, Torque right now just getting absolutely harassed by this Winston to start things out. Surefour and Reaver gonna get the first 2 kills. Reaver actually opened up with a great pick on Tracer. Moving around, double kill here from Reaver, making the Tracer play work. Will he get the triple? He will, as he just rifle butts Shake right in the face.
Reaver showing up big time, takes down Nicholas there at the end. It's always a good feeling as Tracer killing your opposing number. And yeah, he's looked really good here. Tracer's one of those kind of snowbally characters too, along with Zenyatta in the Discord, that the less targets on the field, the more effective you can be, because you're not going to be taking spam and random shots. So as those numbers dwindle and as those first hits come off, you just see Reaver clean it up.
Well, Surefour right now going in, not wasting any time. Dragon Blade at the ready. Shake is already dead. Surefour alone can put the dagger in this game and force a tiebreaker. compLexity still has 5 people up. Surefour not able to get much more than that. Devitt, though, with the fall through. 3 kills here from C9. And Hex, it's looking like we are going to be going to a King of the Hill tiebreaker as C9 has pulled this back.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the maps. The last band out, King of the Hill, would be Ilios, and we were doing a best-of-3 mode as the tiebreaker, so that's where we're going to next.
Round 5 complete.
So we got to see Anubis and then some Ilios. We saw Gibraltar. Who says Kings Row and Hollywood dominate things?
So there will be no coin flip, guys. That is just a legacy here. Actually, PTR patch, that is fully gone, so that's going to be awesome. Time bank system has been applied to things. I think, actually, though, for assault maps, it just says draw, and then we go to a tiebreaker if necessary. Either way, though.
Yeah, just working on it here. I'll get it momentarily. Got to make sure I put it on to best-of-3.
All right, so it is going to be Ilios will be where this map will be decided. And we'll see just how the King of the Hill game is here for the side of complexity. Certainly, though, anytime we go against C9 King of the Hill, it's rough just because of the shenanigans that Sure4 is able to do. We saw him do it, of course, early in the series, but put him on a King of the Hill map, and it's very easy for him to pick up 1-2 kills early on and just snowball it with a Dragon Blade. Or he doesn't even have to play Genji at points either, so we'll see how things go. I actually think slight edge to C9 going into this, but there have been points where complexity has been very comfortable on these sorts of maps when Nicholas and Torque were playing at their peak, so I suppose we will have to see.
Yeah, well, our admin got us in the game very quick. He's doing a wonderful job. We'll see. I just want to see Lucio boops. That's why I love Ilios. That's why pros did not like it for a while. It's very variable. A lot of environmental deaths, gravity kills on this map, but I think we are going to see Reaver on this Tracer, which we were mentioning before. And, you know, we're not trying to pile on a player, but Cloud9, when they're at their best, he was playing their best. And we've been saying it for a while. He definitely looks best on Tracer. We'll see if he can out-trace Nicholas and see what the first switch-ups happen here. But it looks like they're running... Is that an exact mirror? That's an exact mirror match.
It is an exact mirror match where both teams will be running the double flanker. Both teams repping a Zarya, Winston, Zenyatta, Lucio, all going to round things out here. So this is about as standard gets here on Ilios. And it's really going to come down to what team can mechanically outperform the other team.
Yeah, there is some positioning. I think it always kind of comes down to support ultimates too. Is your support in the right position to use their ultimate effectively? The difference between getting 3 in your Soundbearer and 4 can often be the difference in a fight. If your Transcendence is in an area where you're just kind of out there alone, or you're going to fight directly on the point, it'll be interesting to see where teams want to position. Sometimes teams will just try to take over the point, sometimes the courtyard. It's been a while since I've seen Similia, so I'm looking forward to it.
All right, so the match has begun. Both teams trying out poke. Nicholas looking to go right into the backline. Lucio is his target. Drago actually doing a good job of keeping Nicholas back here, landing enough poke, but that is going to be Torque diving in, has the support. The TGO brothers reuniting once more. 3 quick kills here from complexity, and they're going to take this first.
Yeah, both supports down immediately means that fight was pretty much over right then and there. No healing on the point for the remainders. They're just going to try to trade out the best they can. They only get 1 kill in it, so that is complexity completely dominating that. You know, last time I think I saw complexity on this map, it might have been Liquid, I don't know. A team ran a Pharah Mercy combo on them, and they had no answers for it. No one was playing a decent McCree. Harblue actually had to switch onto the McCree to be able to deal with the Pharah Mercy, so if Cloud9's done their homework, that might be something to switch to in a desperation mode later on.
That'd be interesting to see, just because Sure4, of course, no stranger to Pharah. Definitely one of his favorite characters, even though he doesn't get to play as much. But here we go. Next fight underway. Sure4 diving in. Almost gets punished for it, but is able to get out successfully. Soundbearer coming out here, though, from complexity. And they're going to be awfully aggro with that. Have not gotten a single kill from it here just yet. So it's not quite as much as they were looking for. 5v5 right now between both teams, but Soundbearer does give complexity a little bit more aggro. 4v4. C9's doing a good job of handling this, and now the turnabout begins. Soundbearer's out now from C9. They are going to rush right back into complexity here, Hex, and they might be taking this.
Yeah, they pick up a couple kills later. They're going to have to be able to get back on the point. So some delay tactics, they're going to be at 50% just about when that flips back over. Kai on cleanup duty takes down Nicholas as well. And we'll see where they want to hold. It's often you can see how confident a team is by where they want to hold. This map doesn't offer as many forward holds as some of the other King of the Hill maps, though. So you're kind of just always hanging out in courtyard, maybe taking high ground.
All right, Dragon Blade coming out here from Torque to start this out. Kai still hanging on. Graviton at the ready. Pulls in 3, gets exactly what he's looking for. And Reaver's going to be right there with his follow through. Pulse Bomb doing all sorts of damage. 3 kills here from C9. And C9, it's going to be flipping this, or keeping control of the point.
Yeah, if they win the next fight, then they will surpass the percentage set by complexity too. So the next fight could either put complexity further ahead or at about even or behind. Ultimate advantage is in the favor of complexity. The big Graviton Pulse Bomb opportunity incoming. But you see, look at Cloud9's positioning. They're all spread out. They know it's on the way.
JKW is definitely gonna have some trouble here finding the graviton of his dreams. Still gonna look for it nonetheless, but Torque and Nicholas, the double flankers, picking up 1 each. 3 kills here from compLexity, and JKW might be able to save that graviton.
Optimistic Dragon Blade gets 1, gets 2. His optimism is paying off. His short board teams up Joemeister and Nicholas. Debet comes in, takes JKW down 2. They're gonna completely take this point back as short board takes out Torque, his opposing number.
That is the Surefour factor in a nutshell. That should have been compLexity's fight. They got so many kills to start things out, but Surefour willing his team back into it. It wasn't without any prizes there for compLexity. They did get control of the point for a while. They're at 70%. They're at the position here where if they win the next fight, they'll probably win the game. And they have a big ult advantage going forward. If C9 wins this fight, it's a huge mistake coming out here from compLexity. But compLexity moving in. Graviton pulls in 3. Soundbear is out. Torque gonna be bringing out the Dragon Blade, going to the back line. Not finding any targets yet. 8 magic seconds. Not so magicals thus far. Does get Adam though. Looking for more. 4 kills to compLexity. And they win a fight that they, by all rights, should have won.
Well, this is an extremely back and forth first stage as both teams are exactly at 76%. No one with an ultimate to their name except for Surefour because he's on Genji. That charge is pretty quick. Reaver's also going to have his up if he just nails 1 clip onto somebody here. So a small advantage in favor of Cloud9 at the moment.
Surefour right now. Here comes Dragon Blade looking for the heroism once more. Gonna slice into Zarya's shield. Gives her quite a bit of charge. Slicing and dicing again. And not the... Gonna get booped back. And that is an uncharacteristic ultimate here from Surefour. He's down early in the fight. But C9, they're making the most of this distraction. Moving in. Soundbear is out. And they're gonna put their faith in Reaver here. They go forward. Gets the stick. Doesn't get the kill. Looking for a little bit more right now is C9. They must flip this or they will lose this round. It's up to Reaver to do what he needs to do in the back line. Does take out JKW. And C9, a little bit more momentum here. We'll see if they can keep it up.
Yeah, it was looking very back and forth until those last couple kills came in. So now it's just Hardblue all alone on the point. He can't do anything. He's not going to be able to stall it out long enough for his team to get there. Last fight for first stage of Ilios incoming here. Torque might have a Dragon Blade. That looks like it's about to be it. Maybe Kai and Reaver get their ultimates by the time this fight starts. The big one to look at, though, is can Joemeister hit some spam here so that they have the Soundbear going in next fight. That would be huge for them.
We'll just see Shake, though, able to take out Reaver. Here comes Dragon Blade once more. Torque throwing his blade into the ring. Has 1. Looking for more. JKW to fall through. 3 kills here from compLexity. If compLexity wins this fight, they will win the round. And Hex, they are doing it. Big dive in from compLexity. Big results. They're going to cap the point, and now we'll see if C9 can even do an overtime dive. I don't think they can. And that's going to be round 1, the compLexity.
Yeah, Shake started it off with a nice kill, taking down one of the major DPSs from Cloud9. And, you know, someone on the analyst desk mentioned it yesterday. I want to say it was Slasher, but it could have been anyone. I'm not entirely sure, but say, like, Shake might be one of the best Zenyatas in the game. And he's been kind of quiet, like the quiet storm. You see a little pick here and there, and it ends up being Shake out of nowhere to start these fights. This Zenyatta play has been off the charts.
Alrighty, so it is going, or right now, compLexity has a chance to end this here on the Ruin stage. They are in a good shape, barely won that by the skin of their teeth at the very end, but showing that they can compete with Cloud9 even in a mechanically focused matchup like a King of the Hill map, so it's a good showing for them, and now we'll see if they can just finish it out through.
Yeah, very close match between these teams. So close that neither of them decide to change anything up. Another exact same roster, mirror match on both sides. So who can play the heroes better?
So C9 moving in, compLexity moving in. We should be seeing both Winstons dive in on each other here in just a moment. Tibet waiting for his opportunity. Hardblue holding back. Hardblue usually has pretty good judgment on when to dive in. Every now and then he'll have an overdive, but usually if he goes in, he knows he has the support of the TJO brothers, and both sides being real tentative here, Hex.
Yeah, this is, no one wants to go into the pit. You're kind of giving up the good positioning by just trying to get on the point here. It's a unique map in that sense. Hardblue is the first to dive on, but yet to be blood spilled here.
Nicholas right now is a little bit wounded, going to the backfield, gonna rewind. Reaver getting the first pick off of the game on the JKW. Surefour falling through. Torque and JKW are down, and this should be a quick capture by C9.
Yeah, Nicholas going to suicide. He's had enough of that. Does not want to feed any more ult. They're pushed all the way back through their Greek columns here. Deb's going to take this high ground, but wow, look at this long-range spam from JKW. He knows exactly where he wanted to post up. Hit him with a mile-away Zarya bomb.
Luckily for them, it wasn't a very charged up Zarya bomb. JKW, of course, getting pretty low energy here, but here comes compLexity moving right in. Speed boost is out, but here comes Surefour. Dragon Blade on the way, immediately deletes Joemeister, takes out JKW, dash resets for days, and that's going to be Surefour finishing out with the triple kill.
Yeah, that's a really smart ult from Shore4 there, because a worst case scenario, one of the supports has their ultimate up, and then you're just trading Dragon Blade for a support ultimate, which they desperately need to take this point back anyway. Yours is going to charge better. Luckily for compLexity, neither of them had their ultimates, nor would they may have been forced into them, so they're going to be going into this next push with pretty much everything they want.
Torque right now going into the air. Dragon Blade is out. Going in to do his best Shore4 impression. Has 2, has 3, will get 4. Torque saying, Shore4, anything you can do, I can also do. Moving in. C9 not out of it here just yet, though. Reaver's still alive, darting around, but will go down the Torque in the end. Torque with the big Genji plays, getting compLexity, what will be their first cap of this round.
Yeah, it has been a Genji series so far, with some minor moments by Tracers and then the tanks and everyone showing up, but when those big fights and those big swing fights happen, it has either been Torque or Shore4 getting just really nice 3, 4, 5 kills on these Dragon Blades. And so now we'll see what Shore4 has in response when he gets up to his Dragon Blade, but Graviton probably the next ult we'll see on the field.
Graviton will be coming out here in just a moment. Kai looking for a good opportunity. Kai doesn't get greedy. If he can get 2 people, he'll go for it. JKW falling pretty early here in this fight. We'll see if Kai even needs to use the Graviton as Reaver gets into the back here for the flankers of C9. Uncontested in the back, and that's going to be a full team wipe from C9. And they didn't have to use that much in the way of ults.
No, not at all. And there's going to be some delay from Harblue. Who's going to pop his Primal Rage just to get a couple more seconds on it. But Reaver with a couple nice picks there. He's shown up. And yeah, they didn't even have to use their ults. You're right. They've got the giant wombo combo. They can even double up on DPS ultimates through this Graviton if they so choose. Grego's going to have his Sound Barrier up too. So what was an ultimate advantage for Cloud9 is now firmly in Cloud9's favor again.
Graviton coming out from both teams. Nicholas able to come in with the Pulse Bomb, takes out 2. Dragon Blade's coming up for everyone. Ults everywhere. This is a true ult showdown between both teams. The Torque still alive, slicing, takes out Reaver. Shore4 has already bit the dust. And it's super close. It's now Debet versus Nicholas here on the point. Winston versus Tracer, and Nicholas will survive in the end.
Tracer's golden guns. Tracer, pretty good against Winston, to be honest. I know you've played plenty of her. A lot of people think like, oh, just go Winston and counters Tracer. Kind of, to an extent, if she has none of her cooldowns ready to go. But if Tracer can hit headshots, Winston just melts to her kind of an ultimate battery, as you see Nicholas with his Pulse Bomb now charged up.
Nicholas right now does have Pulse Bomb here at the ready. Sound Barrier now out for compLexity. They're pushing C9 back. Nicholas looking for the Pulse Bomb in the back. Doesn't want to use it. Is mindful of the Zarya shield. And C9 counter Sound Barrier on the way. Reversing momentum. Reaver into the back line. And he's just looking for a little bit more. 2 kills here from C9. If C9 wins this fight, they win the round. And it is looking very good for them right now, Hex.
Yeah, there goes Shake, who maybe was going to be able to bring it back for them. He's been playing that great Zenyatta, and now it's just trying to wipe up the remaining, blinking around Nicholas, who's just going to try to stall at this point as best he can. He comes back in, but this is a very terrifying feeling as a Tracer, knowing you have to blink into the middle of 4 people.
Kai just melting things here. 50% Zarya charge. Gets another killing blow at the very end. And this, of course, is do or die now for compLexity. They must stay on the point to keep it in progress. Overtime quickly fading away. And C9 takes the ruin. So Hex, we are going to be going to the well for the next stage. Of course, that is what many people know is sort of the Sparta pit in the middle of Ilios. But whatever team wins here will be winning the map. And remember, this is just a tiebreaker for Temple of Anubis.
Right. Whoever wins well here wins Temple of Anubis is essentially what's happening. As this is our tiebreak for Anubis, as the time banks were identical for both teams. So yeah, we're in a best of 3 tiebreaker, and I just want to hear someone scream as they fall down a well. Does that make me a bad person?
I mean, only if that person is Timmy.
You know, Timmy never even fell down a well. That's just a common misconception.
Yeah, isn't the entire thing where he just wanted attention or something? Yeah, I don't even know. Now we're just getting way too philosophical on this. And what is going to be a great round on Ilios? Both teams have each other against the wall. Let's see who wins compLexity versus C9.
So both teams get here relatively quickly, just kind of facing off, throwing spam down. I mean, this mirror match could not be any more mirror. You might as well just drop one down to the center, but here comes a big initiation. Harblue jumps in first, gets a cleanup on Grego. It's a nice pick to start it off for compLexity. Anytime you lose to Lucio early, it's terrible just because of how much he offers you here. Not to mention the ult generation for later on. Harblue unleashed right now, effectively setting up 3 kills, but C9 bringing it right back. It is coming down to the wire between both teams. They're both bloodied. Respawns will be coming in soon. And this is one of the rare situations where first point might not be capped for a while just because of how close the initial fight was. Yeah, one of the downsides of having somewhat aggressive tanks for complexity is that Shake has been out alone. He's been able to hold his own and defend himself for a while, but that time he got taken down completely isolated by a Winston, so maybe stay a little closer to your supports. Shake already discorded too. He's definitely a primary target for this Cloud9 team.
Kai wasn't moving there. I wonder if Kai got DC'd or something happened, because I don't think there's any reason to just eat the death. 2 kills coming out here from complexity. Make it 3. Torque with the follow through. And is Kai move? Oh no. Not like this. Not like this. Kai has seemingly disconnected. But he's back, I think.
Okay, well, maybe a hardware issue then, so probably not an internet issue. Yeah, Kai saying cool in chat. That is just dripping with sarcasm.
When Kai says something is cool, let me tell you, he does not mean that it is actually cool. He's actually somewhat upset. But internet problems, it is part of esports, sadly. Or PC problems or anything else. But complexity fully loaded on ults. They're moving in. They should, by all rights, win this fight. It would be a miracle if C9 took this just off ult of Angelone. Shake with the first kill on the Share 4. Joe Meister moving in. The main objective here for C9 is just drain as many ults as possible. And they do drain 4, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, Surefour and Reaver die there early, but the pressure that those DPS offer, as you mentioned, makes the ults come out from the other side. Nicholas with the cleanup crew, so they're also going to have Transcendence, though, on the side of Complexity. Kai's going to have his Graviton, and Pulse Bomb should be up for Reaver. He just needs to hit a couple more shots. It charges very fast, so wow, Torque playing with fire right now. He gets out, though, gets a bubble to save his life.
All right, Surefour overdives, is immediately punished by Hardblue and Nicholas. One of the big cannons here for C9 dead early on. They're still looking like they want to poke in, but very risky nonetheless. Torque, don't throw this away. Torque, Discord Orb on him, is going to get saved by Zarya. Shield here, and Hardblue on the Atom. So C9 does need to back up and regroup, and they're slowly running out of time here, Hex.
Yeah, Torque is running that fine line, but what's happening is they're going after Torque, seeing that he's kind of overextended, maybe jumping a little too deep, and then they go to chase him down. What happened to Surefour? Then they get killed themselves when Hardblue's waiting for him, but Hardblue just get knocked off.
He didn't really get knocked off. I think he was just trying to get away from a death or guaranteed death situation, hoping he could actually shift back up. But here comes C9, Soundbear on the way. Grego leading the way. They are running into some ultimates here. Torque into the backline. Graviton at the ready, slicing, moving to the back. Has Lucio in his sights. 1 kill for Torque. Will he get the next? Taking down both C9 supports. And Complexity, if they win this fight, X, they are very likely to win this map and thus win the tiebreaker.
Yeah, it's not looking great, and God, that's gotta really not feel great for the disconnect they had earlier, too, playing on her. Surefour trying to single-handedly bring it back, gets 3K, here comes the late bubble,
oh! The 4K from Surefour. C9 should have been out of this map, but putting the team on his back, pure heroism from everyone's favorite Genji.
Oh my God, it has been the Surefour Dragon Blade show so far. They're a great example. I had already written it off. I was ready to see what the next map was, but Surefour comes in, starts getting 1. I'm like, yeah, no big deal. There's still 3 alive. Not for long. Kai threw him a bubble there at the end just to guarantee it, and now it ain't quite over yet.
All right, Soundbear coming out here to start things out. Offense of Complexity moving in, but they lose Shake really early in this fight. They're going to be down Discord Orbs as Debit, just going wild in the backline. 4 kills here from C9, and Nicholas says enough of this, takes a long trip into the pit.
That doesn't count. I want someone to be forced into the pit. They can't willingly go. So yeah, we're at about 70% for Cloud9. They've got Surefour's almighty Dragon Blade at the ready too, but they are going to be at a disadvantage here. Hardblue, Torque, and Nicholas all with their ultimates ready. They just need to win 1 more point for Complexity.
Well, Surefour coming with the Dragon Blade to start things out. Immediately takes out Shake. Joe Meister is down. Both supports for Complexity have bit the dust. Torque trying to use some heroism to bring it back himself, but the support's down. He's not going to be getting any heals. And C9, are they going to bring this back? 90%. Reaver with the final cleanup. And now I'm not even sure if Complexity can force overtime here.
They're going to force it, but it's not going to be fun. Yeah. It's not going to be fun for them trying to get to this point.
Overtime is forced. Zoomyata coming at the very end. Graviton, though, coming out here from Kai. Reaver with the Wombo. Down go 2 more. And C9, they are going to pull this back. It looked like they were all but done for. Surefour, though, with the heroics, kept them in it. We'll see. Yeah, this is still not the worst for Complexity. They're doing more than expected at the very end, but Hardblue gonna fall down, his corpse into the pit, and C9 winning the tiebreaker, now up 2-0 in the series.
So that is Cloud9 winning Temple of Anubis on Ilios here, and just trust me, that's what happened. Yeah, so like you said, up 2-0, it's going to be Complexity picking the next map for their life, but we saw a lot of Genji play. Let's see what Torque got done.
Guys saying Lizard Squad almost got me. Oh, man. Well, good on C9 to come back from that. Anytime you lose someone in the middle of a match like that, it's often pretty tilting, but they were able to keep composure, bring it back, and win the map.
Yeah, so we've got the old standbys still in this map pool, and Numbani. Kings Row, Hollywood, Numbani left, and it is compLexity fighting for, well, to remain in the winner bracket here. So this is the upper side of the bracket. These were two of the top two teams in groups from yesterday. So loser of this goes down to the lower bracket. Winner obviously advances into the winner bracket as well. The big prize for going all through the winner bracket without dropping down low is when we get to the grand finals, they will have a game advantage already. So obviously still a lot to play for here, and compLexity, we'll see what one they want to go to. Hollywood, Kings Row.
Yep, they do have the map choice, and we'll see what they pick from the remaining pool of 5. But I gotta say, even though C9 is up 2 maps here, and they're 1 map away from advancing into the winner bracket finals, it's been close. compLexity has put on a show for us here, and it's sort of, you go a little bit back. If compLexity had played at this level in the Overwatch Open, I feel like we'd be seeing them in Atlanta, so it sort of makes you wonder what was up for them in that week where, I don't know, maybe just jet lag from flying back from Gamescom or what, but this is sort of the compLexity that we're more used to seeing.
Well, it's kind of interesting. Whenever these two teams play, it is so confusing because you never know which version of which team is going to show up. Cloud9, sometimes they look like world beaters. They can beat anyone. compLexity is the same. I called Cloud9 beating compLexity at like a BTS Cup, but they'd lost to him 4 times before that. Just had a feeling Cloud9 was going to do it. And it's just so back and forth because these teams, more than almost any other team in Overwatch, when they're great, they're great. When they're bad, they're bad. And you never know which one it's going to be. There's almost no rhyme or reason to it. So they're wildly inconsistent. Cloud9 had just a great run where they were the best team in Overwatch, well, in North America, at least before NBK came over. And then compLexity had a couple good weeks. And yeah, these are just, the maps between these two teams are the most unpredictable and hardest to call. And you're seeing it. They're pretty evenly matched. And when they're both playing at decent levels, it's a high tier of Overwatch.
Well, your prediction was correct, Tex. We will be moving to Kings Row for our next map. If the reverse sweep is going to happen from compLexity, that is where they are going to need to begin, and we'll see just how things go. But C9 coming in strong, compLexity doing a decent job, and I could still see compLexity coming in and taking 1 or 2 more maps off of C9. It's been close enough that that variance is certainly there.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kings is a map that has been really close whenever teams played. Either no one's really dominated one side or another, especially at these high levels of play. So it could come down to a last-second hold. It could come down to 1 fight, 1 ultimate, something like that. But this was compLexity's pick. I believe Debit says he needs a moment here. He said he's going to restart Overwatch, but he's yet to leave the screen. Maybe Control-Alt-Deleted. As long as Reaver's not rebooting, we're good, because he is...
Oh, I completely forgot about that. I blocked it out of my mind. Reaver does not have an SSD, so when Reaver reboots, it takes a while. You're sitting here, we are filling for ages, just talking about good things in life, like how SSDs help your PC actually start up very quickly. You can get one of those SSDs if you buy a brand new Alienware PC, by the way, just so you guys know.
Yeah, maybe
Are you proud of me, Hex? I know normally I leave the selling out to you, but I gotta give props to our sponsors.
Well, you know, we have commercials and stuff, so I don't really try to sell out as much. It seems redundant. You know, we have production companies who make these fine, grand commercials. You don't need me telling you how great Alienware is and things like that. You know, this monthly melee is always my favorite thing, presented by Curse, of course. But we're gonna get right into it. On to Kings Row. We're ready. Teams are ready. Let's go.
Alrighty, so this is going to be C9 looking to put away compLexity, secure their berth to the upper bracket final, where, if you go by what team is favored, they're likely to go up against FaZe. Of course, the other upper bracket game that is going on right now is FaZe versus SodiPop, and we'll keep tabs on that as that goes on, but it is expected that FaZe is going to come in pretty strong in that matchup.
Yeah, FaZe and Cloud9 was the kind of... well, you know, the chalk, if you will, if they were able to play to their level, we expected them in the finals. But compLexity clearly showing they belong in the same map and the same game with Cloud9. So it's still back and forth. compLexity could crawl their way out of the lower bracket as well. Could be a bunch of great sets here today. Some of it's going on off stream. We can't show you everything, of course, but we're going to try to show you as much as possible. 5 sets is on the docket. We'll see. Maybe we'll jump into lower bracket. Who knows? We got to get business done on Kings Row first, and it is going to be Cloud9 on the defense. I didn't ask sides, but no one said anything, so I think they wanted this.
C9's defense about as standard gets right now. It's going to be Debet on the Reinhardt, Adam on Zenyatta, Grego on Lucia, Reaver on the McCree, Kai on Zarya, and Surefour here on the Reaper. And this is a little bit interesting because I think there's been times where it's been reversed, where we've had Surefour on the McCree and Reaver on the Reaper. And maybe this is just C9 realizing that Reaver has some issues on Reaper and it's better that Surefour is on it. I know they've messed around with what Reaver and Surefour play respectively from time to time.
Yeah, definitely. The Pharah meta comes to mind, whereas they've moved those two back and forth on who was going to be playing Pharah. Offensively, though, it is coming out standard from compLexity, as well as Torque and Nicholas will play McCree and Reaper. Joe Meister and Shake will be playing Lucio and Zenyatta. Hardblue JKW on Zenyatta and Reinhardt. So Hardblue on the Zen. He's been playing offensive Roadhog here and there, but he prefers defensive Roadhog when they do end up switching sides on games.
Alright, so C9 right now just holding things back. Zarya spam coming in from Hardblue. We'll see just how quick compLexity goes in here, but they're speeding up. They're going directly in. They're not wasting any time. Big charge comes in from JKW. Debit going to fall as a result. 2 kills here from compLexity. Reaver versus Torque in progress. And what in the world are all those sparkles? What? I don't... Are you seeing this?
A lot of gold hammers on the ground.
I guess it was something to do with the gold hammer, but that was like a star from Mario, man. Clearly thought the invincibility, though, as both teams still flying out on the point. C9 making a decent job of getting right back onto it. compLexity, though, keeping up the pressure. They are advantage here. Debet going to fall in the end, as Nicholas just using cover to his advantage, laying in shot after shot. Surefour going to fall, and compLexity about to cap this point pretty darn quickly.
Yeah, Grego forced onto the point just to try to delay. The rest of his team, though, cleaned up as soon as he jumps in as well. So a really nice first take from compLexity. Pretty long, drawn-out fight. They were just able to trade evenly. And as an offense, if you can trade evenly, you're eventually going to take that first point.
Alrighty, so JKW into the next fight. Will of Earthshatter, Transcendence, Sound Barrier, and Death Blossom all at the ready. C9 going to have a whole lot of ults up as well, so this is going to be a very definitive ult showdown coming right up here. If C9 is able to win this, it bodes really well. We'll buy them about 2, if not 3 minutes on their defense. If the offense is able to win it, it's going to shave 2 or 3 minutes off, so this is a pivotal point in this match. Opens up here with the offensive Sound Barrier. They're coming in with Deadeye. Graviton, though, coming out from Kai, pulls in 3. Reaver firing right back. 5v5 right now between both teams. Reaver, though, coming in big on the McCree, has 2 pickoffs here to start things off, looking for a little bit more. As Reaver now on 3 kills, getting cleanup he needs here on McCree. It's not yet over here for the side of compLexity, but with Surefour diving to the back line, it might just be over, and C9 winning this ult showdown.
Yeah, it looks like compLexity had it there for a bit as they kept a Transcendence in their back pocket much longer. No, it's not over. Nick's going to clean up the wounded warriors in the back line, and they're going to push their advantage here.
He was able to get back in, and C9 was not able to reinforce enough. That interesting how that worked out towards the end, because C9 definitely had a big advantage, especially with Surefour coming up the Dragon Blade at the end. And then, I don't really know, maybe they just overdove it, but it's compLexity in the end that comes out.
Well, the 3 that they had remaining just looked really hurt. It's just based on how quickly Nicholas was able to click them down. So a big fight coming in here. Earthshatter's traded back and forth. A huge one from Debit. Is there follow-up? No.
Kai, though, still in and around. Moving in. Torque, the double kill. Deadeye keeping the pressure up here for compLexity. Flashbang coming up. That's going to be 2 extra kills coming out here from the offense. And compLexity. Did they cap it? I think they got the checkpoint, but no, now they got it. So they were very close, so close that we weren't even seeing a meter's till. But they cap it out there, and they're actually saying a very quick time right now against C9.
Well, thus far, the tank ultimates have been decent, and there's been no follow-up for Cloud9. The first Graviton grab 4 is decent. Now, that one you can kind of chalk up to the fact that they were pushing into supports there, but Debit also hit a 4-man Earthshatter, and no one was around to help him out. Everyone just kind of waited on the ground for a second and got up at full health again, so they need to follow up these important tank ultimates a little better.
Graviton's coming up from both sides. Everyone in the group hug treatment, but so many people in the Graviton from Kai. Sets up for 4 kills. Nicholas was going to the pit. Kai helping him out there in the end, but big plays coming out from Reaver, Surefour, and Kai to clean that up for C9.
Yeah, there's the follow-up they needed. Debet is done enough damage. He just uses Earthshatter, it seemed like a moment ago, but he's going to have that back up at him with Transcendence. So a definite ult advantage right now. JKW going to have his Earthshatter up momentarily as well, so some Rhine games incoming as they try to get each other to drop the shield and drop the hammer.
Not mind games, Rhine games. Debit with their Earthshatter does knock down 2. Looking for the charge right after. Shake and getting thrown back, but does not matter. Torque and Hardblue coming right back in for compLexity. They're actually going to get the better of this as now they're going to be able to move in. It's going to be hard to pressure Torque in the back. He's going to be looking for the pickoffs here, and that's going to be even more kills piling up for the side compLexity. And now you take a look at Nicholas. If he can position right here, Hex, he could end the game with a good Death Blossom.
Yeah, I wonder if they wanted to die there, because Adam, Grego, and Kai were just hanging out 3v6, waiting for a Transcend to go away, and they weren't doing a whole bunch with it. So instead of retreating, they chose to die there instead, I think, because otherwise I can't make any sense of why they were standing there.
Nicholas with the 3K, rolled right in, got exactly what I was looking for. The prophecy is complete. He puts the end to C9 here, and that, Hex, is going to be a time of about, what, 4:47? Very fast.
Yeah, I got like 4:45, actually. They were able to clean that up pretty close. So yeah, that was it extremely fast. Never really stopped once. I was a little confused towards the end when they were popping that Transcendence. I think they were just waiting for it to wear off and die, but why not jump off the cliff then? They didn't look like they were really trying to fight. It was only 3 of them. Like, only Zarya has good damage there because Transcendence was obviously going off. An odd last engagement, to say the least, from Cloud9. And again, they were unable to follow up their tank ultimates in the manner in which they needed to.
All right, we'll see how this works out here. And for C9 on, or sorry, for compLexity on their defense, what they are going to have to look out for here is the Roadhog. If they can support Harblu and get the pickoffs that they want, they can buy really valuable time, because C9 does not have a whole lot of time going into this. All Harblu has to do is ruin 2-3 pushes with the Roadhog, and that might be it to begin with. So we'll see how this works out here. C9, for them to win, they need to avoid Harblu pickoffs. They need to roll through pretty quickly, get point A on the first or second attack, and just avoid getting stalled out in any big way. Because the problem that they have here is they could also win most of their fights, Hex, and still lose just by compLexity making those fights take forever to actually clean up.
Yeah, they're just going to try to throw a wrench into their plans here, and Harblu is great at that. We'll see if, you know, if after they take first point, just watch Harblu. He always sneaks around this top end, try to hook people from the high ground, generally just takes out Lucios and Zenyatta's for days. Cloud9 has to know what's coming. We've been saying the teams have to know what's coming for a while now, and it just doesn't appear that they account for it, because I guess he's just that sneaky of a Roadhog, but everyone knows how Harblu wants to play, how he wants to play this hero in this map in particular, so we'll see if they have a plan for it if it gets to that point. They got to take first though.
Alrighty, so the gates are going to be opening here. C9 is going to be underway. The timer has been set. They don't have much time to work with, and Surefour are going to be looking for his trademark heroics to start this out, because frankly, C9 is going to need it.
Yeah, they're going to have to get this first push going pretty good.
Harblu having absolutely none of it. There's no more valuable pick that Harblu could get than Surefour early on, because not only is Surefour dead for this fight, which kneecaps C9, they're also not going to have Dragon Blade up for the second fight. Big plays from Harblu.
Yeah, and at some point, it's not like he's surprising people anymore. He's just really good at it, and he just finds these angles, he gets these hooks, he misses one there, and they're going to just chase him down and focus him down. I think it's a good idea, but meanwhile, Nicholas, the other part of the gang, throws down some bombs, hits down Reaper. Kai cleans up Harblu eventually, but they had to rotate everyone over there to do so, and cleaned up on the backside by the remaining tank and JKW.
That's the real problem with compLexity, as you mentioned, is that when you do focus on Harblu that much, the rest of the team can really go in on you, and that's what JKW did. It's still not the worst here for C9. They're chaining out some deaths, but Harblu should be back in a moment. A lot is going to depend on Surefour here. Dragon Blade at the ready. Cannot get hooked by Harblu here. Gonna look for the opportunity, but Torque comes right in, lands the flashbang. Surefour is down. Not the best round here for Surefour, and as a result, compLexity with a very good defense here thus far.
Yeah, Harblu actually switches it up. It seems like every time they focus him, it's mostly just to get him to switch, because he doesn't like being focused as Roadhog. So he switches on to the Winston instead, just to provide these bubbles, keep this team safe. They know if they get like one or two holds on this point, they're going to be in great position to win this map, bring it back.
They're already in a phenomenal position. I'd say if they win this fight, it's probably over. Soundbearer coming out here from compLexity. They're going to move in. Earthshatter actually setting them up, but Reaver and Kai able to withstand. 2 kills here from C9. They're moving in. Surefour in the back line. Graviton coming in for good measure to set up Surefour for the 4K.
Half a second late from Shake there on his Transcendence, as 2 had died right as it was popping instead. So everyone had to use their ults there, and yeah, that's because Cloud9 knew they were backs against the wall. The clock is still not in their favor, about 2:40 left on it to finish out this map. They can't be slowed down much at all, and it's a good start that Surefour takes down Joe, but there goes Surefour. Torque again showing up, taking down the Genji.
Here's the biggest problem here for C9. You look at general map stats and how quickly teams complete. 2.5 minutes to go from where they are now to the very end would require the most epic of collapses right now by compLexity. C9's chance to win this, probably less than 3%, which is going to be completely epic if they turn in their favor, but one more good team wipe for compLexity would absolutely seal this game.
Yeah, so they're just going to try to get their poke in and try to wait for that. Now here comes the Deadeye.
Deadeye already out. Happy little skulls coming out for Torque. Does all sorts of damage to the Reinhardt shield. Gonna crack it here in a moment. Pushing the offense back. And this isn't the worst. They did get 8 kills, but they bought so much time. Even as Reaver now going off has 2. Looking for more. C9 didn't get through this as quick as they really needed to.
No, I mean, I don't think they could really afford to even go back there, but it was smart to go back and just maybe hold the next fight. Now, the clock is getting really tight right now. They need to just be dominating this kill feed, cannot be slowed down anymore. And yeah, this is exactly what compLexity knows. Hardblue switches on to the Mei, could buy valuable seconds. One ice block could be the difference on this map.
Very well could be. Reaver and Cheerful are going to have to go off in this next fight. They must thoroughly crush compLexity here if they want any chance. And Cheerful looking for just that. Goes to the backline. Transcendence, though, going to make his 8 magic seconds. Not nearly as good. 2 kills coming out here from Torque and Nicholas. And as a result, compLexity very likely to win this game now. Cheerful going down. Graviton comes out, but Torque with the cleanup in the backline will be mopping up everything. That's 4 kills for Torque here in the end. And Kai says GG because it is certainly over. compLexity not going quietly into that good night. Series now 2-1.
Maybe if they had gotten that checkpoint, they'd have been able to reinforce because the spawn moves so much closer, but not getting the checkpoint there is going to be GG's. It is going to be now Cloud9's map choice. Cloud9 wants to go to Numbani. We'll see what side compLexity would like.
All right, Numbani, this is, for those who are new to Overwatch, this is the lab. This is where teams oftentimes get a little bit freaky with their picks. You see heroes here on Numbani that you don't always see on other maps, and you see them more frequently. Certainly Mei, Torbjorn. These heroes are not strangers to Numbani.
Yeah, Cloud9's always had kind of a cool thing. They're the last team that I saw really running a Soldier 76 on this map, too. He's so far not been in it either, so I'm going to switch these sides real quick and we'll get right into it.
All right, so it's going to be compLexity on the attack, C9 on the defense, and this is kind of working out, where I think compLexity just prefers to be on attack in general, C9 prefers to be on defense, so really the world's easiest adminning job right now. Do not give our admin any praise. Spoiler alert, Hex is drunk on power. He has my family hostage. Please help.
If I had your family hostage, I'd be making them admin, so that clearly can't be the case. So yeah, every side should be ready. You're just waiting for compLexity to give us the official ready. You know what we need in this lobby is just a button that switches sides. That's kind of tedious.
That would be really awesome. Just like quality of life, switch sides instantly.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, so just waiting for compLexity to ready up, and we're going to be getting into map number 4 here in this best of 5 series. And man, if compLexity is able to win it on Numbani, I think all bets are off on who we can expect to win the series, because it would be a great turnabout for them.
Yeah, and we'd be going to Hollywood for the decider there too. So I just want to see what Cloud9's attack ends up being. We'll have to see that on the second side of the map because they've done some cool things. Some teams have actually copied them though too, so we might see what's going on there. The compLexity defense also going to be interesting as well. See if they run that Roadhog or Mei. So Numbani, we mentioned it time and time again, is why we like this map. It is the lab, a lot of weird stuff going on. Cloud9 was one of the teams that used to always run a Torb. We'll see if they want to bring that back. We saw a little bit of Torb yesterday. Torb combined with Mei can be an interesting combination. Really would not surprise me to see almost anything on Numbani. That's just how I feel about this map.
Alrighty, well, both teams are setting up right now. Nothing too crazy coming out yet. Don't believe JKW. He's going to be on a tank. Bastion, Dreams, unfortunately, going to have to be waiting for another day. Probably. I mean, someone else could go Bastion, but it's almost certainly not going to be JKW.
No, he's going to be playing the Reinhardt. He does always like to go onto Widow and Bastion and whatnot because he has dreams of not having to hold a shield up in front of him his entire life, so the Bastion dream is not going to be real. We've seen offensive Bastion, so oddly enough, from Cloud9 likes to run an offensive Bastion and get a Reinhardt set up in front of him, get him on that ledge, but because people have been running the Mei there too, if you try to do that and get cut in half, that is essentially the end of your push. So it looks like defensively, nothing out of the ordinary though. No Torbs. It's going to be Shortboar on Genji. Adam will play the Zenyatta, Grego on Lucio. Kai will play the defensive Diva, Debit on the defensive Winston, and Reaver going to try his hand at McCree.
And take a look here at the offense coming out here from the side of Nicholas. It's going to be Nicholas on the side of complexity, not Nicholas. Nicholas, though, will be on the Tracer. Joe Meister on Lucio. JKW on the Winston. Torque on Genji. Shake going to be on Zenyatta. And Harblue on the Diva. So double dive offense here is on the table here for complexity. And we'll see if they can take control of the high ground. Though sometimes teams just go straight up the gut. They're going in from the ground, taking the stairs up. Looking for the knockoff to start things out. Surefour, though, able to turn it right around, takes out Shake to begin with, and complexity down one player. And Surefour might just dive in here in a moment once he gets healed up.
Yeah, Numbani, as of late, teams have always fought over this kind of corner of the stairs because the offense wants to get in there so they can get high ground, but oftentimes they're chased down so hard that they have to turn around and begin the fight there. And there goes a couple deaths off the edge, knowing that they'd lost some important heroes. Nicholas screams as his Tracer, JKW off the edge as well. They're going to try it again, but at least he didn't feed those last couple ults.
Yeah, that was a really good defense coming out here from C9. And really the big thing is that Surefour was able to get in on the Shake very early there. And once that happened, you had 5 people in a room being surrounded by 6. And it's difficult to win that fight. If you're going to lose someone, you need to do a lot of damage for it. But Reaver taking out Joe Meister immediately. Second verse going to be same as the first right now. As complexity going to the well again and getting absolutely denied.
Yeah, that is 6-1 in favor of Cloud9 there, and this defense looks nigh unbreakable right now. We are entering the ultimate phase of the game, so if Nicholas can hit a clutch pulse bomb, something like that, he's going to have to just stick it, though, as there's no Zarya on the map to help him out, keep everyone in place. Torque has Dragon Blade, but everyone for Cloud9, sans a debit, has their ultimate up.
And Reaver right now, Deadeye is up. Really so many ways that C9 can win this. This is super ult advantage. They should win this fight, barring a true miracle on complexity. Surefour opening up, 1 support kill, takes out Nicholas. 2 kills for Surefour, looking for the third. Gonna convert on the third. C9 burning ultimates for this fight, but very, very effective. It will give an opportunity here for complexity on their turnabout to have a somewhat more even fight, but it's still rough.
Yeah, it is much more even, though, so I think that's kind of the plan of that so-called junk rush as well. Nicholas did burn his pulse bomb because that's kind of your miracle. If you do get that going off, you hit something huge with it, you're happy to continue that fight and then burn ultimates after that. That's kind of your barometer. But Nicholas can be able to charge it up quick. Pulse bomb does, effectively charge pretty quickly.
All right, Torque right now moving to backline. Dragon Blade on the ready. Diva Bomb exploding. He's looking for any pickoff right now. Goes to backline. Reaver, though, absolutely shutting him down. And anytime you lose a Dragon Blade with nothing, it's not a good omen. 2 kills here from C9, and they should be able to mop this right up.
Getting down to it now for complexity, too. A couple kills late there, able to get cleaned up. Nicholas, Joe Meister, Shake all have their ultimates. $120 left on this clock. It is not looking great. They've shown almost no signs of life. A couple small trades. I think, they have like 5, 6 total kills in this game, if that, for the side of complexity. So they got to show us something we haven't seen before in this offense. We'll see which avenue they want to take for aggression.
Well, complexity is ult advantage here. They have 2 support ults up that C9 does not have. Although C9 is getting a Dragon Blade and Soundbearer up towards the end, so it's more of an ult showdown. This is their last attempt, though. They must cap this down to stay alive. Surefour goes down immediately. No Dragon Blade will be on the menu here tonight. And complexity, it's a good start for them to start things out. Reaver was looking for a little bit of heroics, was not able to get it. And complexity, backs against the wall, should be able to get the payload moving.
Yeah, they're just taking their time today. They don't want to get points too quickly. I think they just want to play as much Overwatch as possible, really only capping when they have to, because this is exactly what we saw out of them out of the first map as well. When they have to, absolutely must have it, they take them out. Taking down Surefour and Reaver immediately. It was some nice play from from Harblue there to shut down Reaver with his Deadeye as well. They're going to delay it a little bit, but this point is lost.
Oh, there isn't, though. Surefour comes in at the very end, is taking out Shake. Harblue able to take him out. C9's doing way more than they should for recapping this point. This should not be a thing right now. And it is... looks like complexity is going to fight it back. Primal Rage coming out at the very end. JKW playing fighting games right now with the mid-air melee combo. But this is still ridiculous from C9. This should not be a thing with how much they lost this fight. It was some heroics from Surefour. Adam's going to zoom Yata right on here in a moment. And we're going to see how this goes, but this is a very long overtime. I think Complexity thought they had it won. We thought they had it won. But C9 right now is fighting for the win.
This is incredible. I do not make a habit of calling games early. I learned my lesson long ago in Overwatch that games are generally not over till they're over. That looked as over could be. My God. All right, first point hold. I'm never calling a game until the actual screen comes up. I'm done with it.
I'm still pretty confident in my predictions most of the time. Every now and then you get it wrong. That was clearly a case where C9, I mean, in our defense, there was a lot of complexity members that were there and set up. It took once more crazy heroics from Surefour, which is why it's usually prefaced with it's going to take a miracle. Well, C9 had the miracle there. And now for C9, their path to victory, much, much easier. All they have to do is simply capture point A, and they will be the victors here. So a little bit rough here for the side of complexity. Barring an equally miraculous defense, they will be getting knocked into the lower bracket.
Well, I guess that's textbook how to bring it back on defense when all is lost. If you have one alive, keep them alive as long as possible. Wait for someone who can deal damage to get there. Then you have a 2v3, so maybe that works out. Surefour then starting to get damage. You start getting one kill, then you stay alive, have a 3v3. Grego was a great job there, just stalling it out, roller skating around, which is Lucio's most valuable trait in those fights. I still cannot believe they didn't get that. All right.
I'm still pretty shocked. Honestly, given the advantage they had there, I mean, C9 was streaming on to the point. Most of the time, teams will just give it up at that point because it's not worth just chaining deaths going in. No. But Surefour able to make something out of nothing, leading the way, giving C9 the rest of the time to move in. And again, most teams would be like, okay, it's lost, just focus on defense on second. Not so much C9 there.
All right, well, pretty easy road to win Numbani and move on in this winner's bracket is just taking this first point. That's all they have to do. That's it. That's their win condition.
People are saying that this is a slow morph in Narutosis where you call it one way and it ends up being the other. We will see. Either way, take a look here at the offense. As I said, C9, they can move here where pretty darn quickly if they want to, but they can also take their time with poke. Just wait for the right opportunity. All it takes is one successful push, so they can be a little bit greedy on how they set up ultimates. Torque the first pick off on the Reaver. It's going to be 65 for the side complexity. This is the start they need, but look at Surefour getting right to the back line, trying to get for Shake. Shake able to stand his ground. 2 kills here from complexity, and C9 will be getting pushed back.
Yeah, that's about as good as a defense as you can ask for. It'd be nice to get these last couple kills. They're not going to chase them too far, though. They just want to charge ults as much as possible. They chase them out. Completely in favor of complexity there. And, yeah, maybe we'll just have another tiebreaker. That's how close these teams have been.
Alrighty, so complexity right now holding on to the high ground pretty heavily here. Again, Surefour has pretty good approaches for that. We'll see if that actually pays out in the end. Dragon Blade about to be in play for both teams. Surefour right now, no fear. Looking for his opportunity in. Dragon Blade is built up. Will the Dragon Blade be coming out? Less than C9 looping around the back, but here comes Surefour going up the gut. Dragon Blade once more in play. Takes out D.Va, gets the double kill. Surefour doing it once more as he picks up 4 kills for Surefour. I feel like I've said that phrase way too much recently.
That's not fair. That doesn't seem fair. Another 4K for Surefour. Gonna, well, maybe. It's gonna put them in position to win this point. How's that?
Alright, so they're staying on the point, and this will be the last-ditch attempt from complexity to get back here on the point. Again, pretty unlikely. Soundbear coming out here from C9. They should be able to clean this up. Will the miracle happen once more? Odds are pretty low here as Adam is able to take out Joe Meister. C9 just casually in and around the point. If the defense gets off the point for even a moment, they are going to lose this map. The payload is the win condition right now. They're getting all the kills they need to. The kill feed filling up with blue. It is just Winston right now stuck delaying with the Tracer, and Surefour is going to clean up both.
All right, that's it. That's the set. Cloud9 moving on. Complexity to the lower bracket. And we did have results. I think at least I should double check the Twitter. I'm going to trust chat for now, which may come back to bite me, but I think phase 1 3-0.
That would be expected. It would be really weird if they didn't, just given what was going in. It would be a great win for Sodipop, but also a little bit unlikely given what we know about both teams. Alrighty, so Hex, any final thoughts before we throw over to our analyst desk as we prep for our next game coming up, which will be Cloud9 versus FaZe?
Surefour's got really good Dragon Blades, and I'm never predicting anything again until it actually happens.
Yeah, that was true heroics. Again, we do try to do a pretty good job about predictions, but that I just want to emphasize how crazy it was from C9 to bring it back. Complexity, though, in my mind, still looked pretty good throughout a lot of this. Not quite there to where they could comfortably beat C9 in the series, but things have gone a different way. They definitely could have taken 1 or 2 of the maps earlier on, and who knows, the series could have gone longer. Complexity certainly not dramatically weaker than C9 right now, but for those thoughts and more, we're going to take a 30-second break and send things over right to our analysis desk, so stay tuned.